The Grand Chamber of Nexus Prime had never hosted such a diverse gathering of species. Admiral Kethver stood tall at the central podium, his blue skin shimmering under the hall's brilliant lights. His forearms gestured emphatically as he addressed the assembly, pointing toward the vast star map floating overhead. Fellow council members. Kethver began, his voice resonating through the expansive room. We face a new threat emerging from the outer rim. These beings call themselves humans, originating from a planet they name Earth. The Galactic Council, composed of representatives from 12 species, listened intently. Whispers about the humans had circulated before, but their true nature remained a mystery. The Krenari delegate, a towering figure with slate-gray skin and wide black eyes, leaned forward. What makes these humans so dangerous? Inquired Commander Vexel, the Krenari's most esteemed military strategist. Surely they cannot rival our combined fleets. Kethver tapped a control panel, altering the star map. Red markers now peppered multiple systems. These are human settlements, he explained. 6 months ago, there were only 3. Now, there are over 40. Their expansion rate surpasses anything we've encountered. A ripple of unease spread. Through the council, a reptilian Sark representative let out a low hiss. How is this possible? Do they multiply like insects? No, Kethver responded, shaking his head. Our scouts report that they reproduce at a normal rate for intelligent species. However, their ability to construct ships is unparalleled. The star map shifted to display a single system. Grainy recordings of human vessels began to play. Their designs stood in stark contrast to the sleek, curved aesthetics of the galactic norm. The human ships were jagged, angular, unmistakably built for conflict. They disregard standard first contact protocols, Kethver continued. When our patrols intercept their ships, the humans neither surrender nor request permission. To pass, they simply announce their intentions and proceed. Outrage erupted. For millennia, new species had adhered to established etiquette, requesting guidance, offering tribute, and showing deference to the council. This is intolerable, declared the Xeon Prime Minister, her multifaceted eyes glinting. No primitive race should exhibit such blatant disrespect. Vexel rose, his formidable stature drawing all attention. What do we know of their military? Kethver hesitated. Our data is limited. They use projectile weaponry instead of energy-based arms. Their ships are heavily armored. But ultimately, they are just one nascent species, facing the full might of the galaxy. The delegates exchanged glances, some with concern, others with anger at the human's audacity. The ethereal delegate, an entity of pure energy encased in a mechanical exosuit, spoke in a melodious tone. Perhaps diplomacy is our first course. Diplomacy demands mutual cooperation, Vexel countered. These humans show no regard for galactic law. They seize what they desire and dismiss our territorial claims. Kethver nodded in agreement. 3 mining colonies have reported human vessels scanning their operations. When confronted, the humans declared the regions unclaimed and ignored our ancestral rights. The debate raged on, splitting opinions. While some argued for peace, the majority concurred that humans must be shown their place. The decision was ultimately unanimous. The Council would dispatch a united fleet to curtail human expansion and enforce. Surrender Vexel was chosen to lead. With a distinguished record of bringing 17 species into the fold, his methods, diplomatic or otherwise, were renowned. I will command 800 ships, Vexel announced. Representatives from all 12 species will join. The humans will witness the power of our alliance. The plan mirrored countless past successes. The fleet would intercept human forces near the contested Kepler system. Showcasing overwhelming numbers and superior technology, the humans would capitulate, submitting to the galactic order. Far from Nexus Prime, Captain ... Jake Morrison stood confidently on the bridge of the USS Liberty, humanity's most advanced starship. Unbeknownst to him, the Liberty was about to encounter the largest military force ever assembled in galactic history. A career officer with years of experience, Jake had earned his rank through dedication and discipline. His short brown hair, piercing blue eyes, and composed demeanor inspired trust and loyalty among his crew. They respected him because he valued their safety while achieving mission success time and again. "Captain," called out Amy Johnson from the communications console. "Routine updates from Earth Command. All colonies report normal status." Amy was young but highly skilled, a graduate of technical college who excelled in managing the Liberty's complex communication systems. Her red hair, neatly tied in a regulation ponytail, framed her sharp green eyes, which caught every detail on her monitors. "Thank you, Amy," Jake said, then turned to his tactical officer. "Ben, our current position?" Ben Rodriguez glanced. "At his displays? 3 days from the Kepler system, sir? All sensors indicate normal traffic for this sector." Once a fighter pilot, Ben had transitioned to capital ships after an injury grounded him. His expertise in tactics and weapons had saved the Liberty from peril more than once during their patrols. Chief Engineer Lisa Parker looked up from her console. "Captain, all systems are optimal. The new quantum drives are exceeding expectations." Lisa, the architect of many of the Liberty systems, was as brilliant as she was resourceful. Her petite frame and blonde hair belied her remarkable strength and ability to solve problems under intense pressure. As the Liberty continued its routine patrol, the crew remained unaware of the approaching danger. The largest armada in galactic history had dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler system. A staggering 847 ships from 12 civilizations filled the region in a precise formation. Their sheer number required 30 minutes to fully materialize. Commander Biexel stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Dominion, a colossal 3-kilometer-long vessel bristling with destructive firepower. Around him, officers coordinated with allied ships from the 11 other species. "Status report," Biexel commanded. Zector, his young Chronari tactical officer, responded after scanning his displays. "All ships have arrived and are assuming positions. Zephyrin wings are taking the flanks, while heavy cruisers move to the center." Nodded. This fleet represented the galaxy's ultimate military might, a coalition no species could withstand. "Have we detected any human vessels?" "Yes, sir. All range sensors have located a single ship, approximately 4 light hours away. It appears to be on a direct course toward our position." Biexel frowned. "One ship? Are you certain?" "Confirmed, sir," Zector replied. "It's roughly 2 kilometers in length and shows no sign of altering course." This unexpected scenario troubled Biexel. Intelligence suggested humans typically traveled in groups of 3 to 5 ships. Could this be a scout, or was the main human fleet lying in ambush? "Begin active sensor sweeps," Biexel ordered. "Scan for hidden ships across the system." While the crew executed the command, Biexel scrutinized the tactical display. The human ship's steady approach baffled him. They audacious or simply reckless? "Sir," the communications officer interrupted, "shall we broadcast the surrender demand?" "Protocol requires we offer them a chance to submit before engaging," Biexel agreed. It was tradition. The sight of such a formidable fleet had always been enough to make any species surrender. "Transmit the standard first contact protocol on all frequencies." The transmission echoed across space, broadcast in over 300 languages. Its message was blunt. "You are surrounded by the Galactic Council's combined fleets. Power down your weapons and prepare to surrender. Resistance will result in your vessels' destruction." For light hours away, the USS Liberty cruised steadily toward the Kepler system. Its sleek design combined elegance with raw functionality, stark contrast to the ornate ships of the Galactic Fleet. The Liberty was a ship built for purpose, not aesthetics. On the bridge, Amy Johnson's voice broke the quiet. "Captain, I'm receiving a transmission-strong signal on multiple frequencies." Captain Jake Morrison turned from the navigation console where he had been speaking with Chris Miller, the ship's navigation officer. Chris, a tall man with dark hair, had served aboard 5 different ships before joining the Liberty, earning a reputation for charting safe courses through perilous regions. "What's the message, Amy?" Jake asked. Amy adjusted her console, letting the auto-translator parse the alien languages. It's a surrender demand, sir. They're ordering us to deactivate weapons and prepare for boarding. Jake frowned, his expression darkening. Who's sending it? Amy glanced at her data. The signal originates from the Kepler system. Power output suggests it's not from a single ship, sir. Jake summoned his senior staff to the briefing room. Within minutes, his core team gathered around the table. Amy, Chris, Chief Engineer, Lisa Parker, Tactical Officer Ben Rodriguez, and Security Chief Kate Williams. Kate, a former Marine, was an expert in boarding operations and ground combat. Her short brown hair and focused demeanor hinted at her no-nonsense attitude. What? Do we know about the transmission? Jake asked. Amy referenced her datapad. The signal strength suggests a fleet of several hundred ships, sir. Ben looked up from his console. Long-range sensors are detecting high-energy signatures ahead. Their power output is significant. But their technology looks outdated. Their engines resemble fusion drives from 50 years ago. Lisa nodded. Their reactors are inefficient compared to our quantum systems. Jake absorbed the data. How many ships are we dealing with? Ben scanned his displays again. Over 800, sir. That's the initial estimate. A tense silence followed. 800 ships posed a serious threat. Even with older technology, Kate broke the silence. Captain, what's protocol for first contact scenarios? Jake recited from memory. Peaceful communication is the goal, with defensive readiness. But surrender isn't mandatory, Chris suggested. We could alter course and avoid the Kepler system. Our mission doesn't require entering it. That's true, Jake acknowledged. But retreating sends the wrong message. If they think humans will back down, they'll escalate aggression toward our colonies. Amy spoke again. Captain, the surrender demand is still broadcasting. Should we respond? Jake nodded. Open a channel on their frequencies. Amy complied, and Jake addressed the Galactic Fleet. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earth Defense Force vessel Liberty. You are in territory claimed by humanity. State your purpose or withdraw immediately. Amy closed the channel. Message sent, sir. Jake turned to his team. Turn to your stations and prepare for combat. I want all systems ready in case this escalates. The senior officers departed, returning to their posts. The Liberty pressed on toward Kepler. Space, carrying its 2,400-strong crew into a historic confrontation. Behind them stretched the vast emptiness of human expansion. Ahead loomed the largest fleet ever assembled by the Galactic Council. Commander. Vextel stared at his communications display in shock. Not only had the humans refused to surrender, but they'd also demanded the Council fleet withdraw. In decades of service, Vextel had never encountered such audacity, sir, his communications officer reported. The human ship continues its approach. No signs of slowing or changing course. Vextel turned to the tactical display. The human vessel now appeared on sensors, a sleek design utterly foreign to the Galactic Fleet's curved and decorated ships. This was clearly a vessel made for war. What's their estimated time of arrival? He demanded. At current speed, they'll reach weapons range in 12 minutes. Vextel considered his options. The humans had defied the Council, rejecting the offer of peaceful surrender. A demonstration of force was now necessary. Send the first wave, he ordered. Deploy 200 ships to engage. Show them the consequences of defiance. The vanguard consisted of the fleet's swiftest vessels, Zeparian cruisers, Sarath destroyers, and Carey frigates surged ahead. Their mission was clear: disable the human ship without destroying it entirely. The humans had to survive long enough to comprehend their defeat. On the Liberty's bridge, Tactical Officer Ben Rodriguez monitored the incoming ships. Captain, 200 enemy vessels are breaking formation and closing in. Estimated weapons range? In 8 minutes, Captain Jake Morrison stood behind his chair, calm and resolute. His eyes fixed on the tactical display as the alien ships advanced in a wide arc. The alien fleet's formation shifted, clearly aiming to encircle the Liberty and strike from multiple angles. Jake's voice echoed over the ship's communication system. All hands, battle stations. This is not a drill. Report to combat. Positions immediately. Across the Liberty, 2,400 crew members rushed to their stations. In engineering, Chief Engineer Lisa Parker conducted a final check on the ship's power systems. The quantum reactors hummed at peak efficiency, generating more energy than ever required in training. Engineering to bridge, Lisa's voice came through the intercom. All systems are ready. Weapons, shields, and drives are at full capacity. Thank you, Lisa, Jake replied. Turned to Ben. Weapon status? Ben Rodriguez scanned his displays. Particle beam arrays are charged. Point defenses are online. All missile tubes are loaded with the latest warheads. From her station, Security Chief Kate Williams reported, damage control teams are ready on all decks, sir. Medical bay is prepared for casualties. Jake nodded.
Amy?
Any updates from the alien fleet? Amy Johnson shook her head. No, sir. Just the original surrender demand. They're maintaining radio silence. Then they've made their choice, Jake said quietly. He addressed Ben. As soon as they're in range, engage. Target their lead ships first. The Liberty pressed onward toward the alien armada, its experimental systems humming with latent power, ready for their first true test against alien forces. Contact in 60 seconds, Ben announced. Enemy ships are forming attack patterns. Jake watched as the alien vessels positioned themselves with flawless textbook precision. Their professionalism was evident, but they couldn't anticipate the Liberty's unique capabilities. 30 seconds to weapons range, Ben called. All stations, combat readiness, Kate confirmed. 10 seconds, Ben counted down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The alien fleet fired first. Plasma torpedoes and energy beams filled the void, striking the Liberty's shields in dazzling flashes of light. The bridge shook under the impact. Damage report, Jay called out. Shields at 96%. Ben responded. Minor fluctuations in the outer layers, but no significant damage. The Liberty's defenses had absorbed the onslaught with ease, testament to its advanced technology. Return fire, Jake ordered. Ben's hands moved deftly over his. Controls, unleashing the Liberty's particle beams. Streams of concentrated energy tore through the void, striking an alien cruiser square in its midsection. The ship's shields and hull disintegrated in an instant, leaving nothing but debris and a flash that blinded nearby sensors. Direct hit, Ben reported. Target destroyed. Without pause, the Liberty's automated systems calculated. New firing solutions, unleashing beams that struck 3 more enemy vessels simultaneously. 2 Seroth destroyers and a Chronari frigate exploded, or remained scattered across the battlefield on the Eternal Dominion. Commander Vexel stared at his tactical display in disbelief. The first wave of his fleet was disintegrating. Just 30 seconds. 4 ships had been obliterated with what seemed like effortless precision. How is this possible? Vexel demanded. What kind of weapons are they using? His tactical officer analyzed the data. Sir, the energy output of their weapons exceeds anything in our databases.
Nice.
Their particle density is triple that of our best beam technology. Explosions continued to light the void. The Liberty moved like a predator among prey, striking with lethal accuracy. Sir Vexel's communications officer interrupted. The first wave is requesting immediate reinforcements therein. Full retreat. Realizing the disaster unfolding, Vexel barked, signal the second wave, all ships full attack. Destroy that human vessel immediately. As the second wave, over 300 strong, surged toward the Liberty, Vexel began to grasp the enormity of his mistake. The humans were no primitive barbarians. They were a far more dangerous adversary than anyone in the galaxy had anticipated. The second wave launched a coordinated assault, filling the void with plasma, energy beams, and missiles. It was the largest combined attack in galactic history. The Liberty captain Jake Morrison stood firm, the bridge trembling under the bombardment. The lights flickered briefly, but the systems held steady, as the crew remained composed. executing their duties with precision despite overwhelming odds. Shields down to 78%, Ben reported, but holding. Their weapons aren't breaching our grid? Engineering status? Jake called. Lisa's voice came through the intercom. Captain, I'm rerouting power through backup conduits. We can maintain full weapons output for another hour at this rate. Jake nodded. The Liberty had been designed for this to face superior numbers and prevail. Every system reflected that philosophy. Alien tactics relied on overwhelming their enemies quickly. Human vessels, however, were designed for endurance, built to fight prolonged battles and emerge victorious. Target their capital ships, Jake ordered. Focus on anything larger than a cruiser. Understood, sir, Ben replied, his fingers gliding over the controls. He locked onto multiple targets as the Liberty's particle beam array swiveled, tracking enemy vessels. Its advanced computers calculated precise firing solutions, compensating for movement as Ben fired. 6 beams of concentrated energy streaked through space. A massive Seroth battleship took 3 direct hits to its engines and erupted in a fiery explosion, taking 2 nearby frigates with it. Another beam cut a Zephyrian heavy cruiser cleanly in half, while the remaining beams obliterated smaller ships. 12 enemy vessels destroyed, Ben reported, acquiring new targets. At navigation, Chris Miller adjusted the Liberty's trajectory. Coming about to heading 270, he announced. This will give us clear shots at their command vessels. The Liberty maneuvered with a grace that defied its size, slipping between enemy formations. Unlike most large warships, which were slow and cumbersome, the Liberty's advanced drive systems allowed unparalleled agility. Minor hull breaches on decks 12 and 15, reported Kate Williams, monitoring the ship's damage control teams. Repairs are complete. No casualties. Good work, Jake acknowledged. Watching the tactical display, he observed the alien fleet shifting into attack positions. Amy, any enemy communications? Yes, sir, Amy responded. There. Coordination is breaking down. Ship commanders are requesting orders, but their fleet command isn't responding fast enough. This was the opportunity Jake had been waiting for. Ben, target their command ship, the large vessel in the center. Ben studied his screens. Got it, sir. 3 kilometers long, heavily armed, firing everything we've got. The Liberty's main particle beam array concentrated its energy into a single blast. The beam struck the Eternal Dominion, slicing through its shields and armor with terrifying ease. The alien flagship shuddered violently, losing power to half its systems. On the Dominion's bridge, Commander Vexel was thrown to the floor as alarms blared. Emergency lights flickered as damage reports came in. Engines 2 through 5 are offline, his engineer reported. Hull breaches on multiple decks. Weapons at 30% capacity. Vexel hauled himself upright, staring at the tactical display. In less than 3 minutes, over 40% of his fleet had been destroyed. Ships that had defended the galaxy for decades were now debris. How many ships lost? He asked quietly. 216 vessels, sir. The human ship remains undamaged. The scale of the disaster sank in. What was meant to be a demonstration of power had become the worst military failure in recorded history. Meanwhile, the Liberty continued its systematic attack. Automated systems optimized every aspect of the battle, from targeting to power management, freeing the crew to focus on strategy. Enemy ships are breaking formation, Ben reported. Some are trying to retreat. Jake watched as alien vessels fled toward the system's edge. He understood their panic, but couldn't let them escape with intelligence about humanity's capabilities. Pursue and disable the fleeing ships, he ordered. The Liberty's superior speed made escape impossible.
Ow.
One by one, retreating vessels were destroyed or disabled before they could reach hyperspace. Captain, Amy called out, we're receiving surrender transmissions. Several enemy ships are requesting terms. Jake considered this. His mission was to protect human space and demonstrate Earth's strength. Both objectives had been achieved. How many functional ships remain? He asked. Approximately 200. Sir, Most have powered down their weapons, Ben answered. Signal the enemy fleet, Jake ordered. Instruct them to maintain their positions and prepare to be escorted to human space for negotiations. The battle was over. In just 4 minutes and 12 seconds, a single human ship had defeated the galaxy's largest military force. Humanity's rise had begun with an overwhelming victory. On the bridge of the crippled Eternal Dominion, Commander Vexel made the hardest decision of his career. With his flagship barely operational and over half his fleet destroyed, surrender was the only option. Open a channel to all ships, he commanded, his voice heavy. Channel open, sir, the communications officer confirmed. Taking a deep breath, Vexel issued the order. All vessels. This is Fleet Commander Vexel. Power down weapons and prepare to surrender. This battle is over. The message spread across the remnants of the once mighty fleet. One by one, alien ships powered down, their weapons silenced, their defeat absolute. White surrender flags flickered on the communication arrays of alien ships. The most powerful military force in history had been brought to its knees by a single human vessel. On the Liberty's bridge, Captain Jake Morrison observed the enemy's capitulation with a mix of pride and solemnity. While his crew's performance was exemplary, the scale of destruction weighed heavily on him. Victory in war, even total, was no cause for celebration. Captain Communications Officer Amy Johnson reported, surrender signals are coming from all remaining enemy ships. They're requesting terms and medical assistance. Jake nodded. Signal our acceptance. Inform them we'll provide humanitarian aid to damaged ships. Turning to his crew, he added, good work, everyone. Stand down from battle stations, but keep defensive readiness. The bridge crew smoothly transitioned from combat to normal operations. Ben Rodriguez saved targeting data while Chris Miller plotted courses to assist damaged alien vessels. Security Chief Kate Williams coordinated rescue operations. Lisa Jake called through the intercom. Status report, Chief Engineer. Lisa Parker's voice came through crisply. All systems operational, Captain. We've used about 40% of power reserves, but the quantum reactors are stable and cool. Jake marveled at the Liberty's resilience. Facing nearly 1,000 ships, it had emerged almost unscathed. Humanity's engineering had proven unmatched. Amy, Jake ordered, send a priority transmission to Earth Command. Inform them. We've encountered a galactic civilization, secured total military victory, and request immediate diplomatic support. Message sent, Amy confirmed. Earth Command should receive it in 6 hours. Jake turned his attention to the aftermath. Hundreds of alien vessels were crippled, their crews in need of aid. The Liberty's medical bay, though advanced, wasn't designed for alien physiology. Kate, he directed, organize rescue teams and coordinate with medical. We'll provide emergency supplies and whatever aid we can manage. Kate saluted. Yes, sir. I'll work with Dr. Clark to adapt our resources. Dr. Ryan Clark, the Liberty's chief medical officer, was a seasoned professional known for his calm demeanor. Tall and gray-haired, his presence reassured even the most anxious. Patience. His medical bay now faced an unprecedented challenge. Over the next hours, the Liberty moved between alien ships, delivering supplies, sealing breaches, and providing first aid. The aliens were astounded by their enemy's compassion. Commander, Vexel, injured during the battle, was transported to the Liberty for medical care and negotiations, walking the ship's efficient corridors. He noted the stark contrast between human practicality and galactic extravagance. In the conference room, Jake greeted him with an extended hand. I'm Captain Jake Morrison. Vexel hesitated then, carefully shook it. I am Commander Vexel of the Chronari Fleet. Tell me, Captain, how many ships like yours does humanity possess? Jake smiled faintly. That information is classified, Commander. But I can assure you the Liberty isn't unique. The statement wasn't entirely true. The Liberty was humanity's most advanced ship, but Jake saw no need to disclose that. Vexel nodded solemnly. Then my people have gravely misjudged yours. Perhaps, Jake replied, but this doesn't need to lead to further conflict. Humanity seeks peace, not conquest. After what we've done here, Vexel asked, surprised. We attacked without warning, yet you gave us a chance to surrender. That shows your people have honor, Jake pointed out. Even if your leaders made poor choices. For hours, the two commanders exchanged perspectives. Vexel described the Galactic Council's structure, while Jake outlined humanity's rapid expansion. Both realized the galaxy stood on the cusp of a new era. News of the battle spread quickly. On Earth, leaders marveled at the Liberty's triumph. In the galactic capital, council members faced the collapse of their dominance. Emergency sessions convened across dozens of worlds. Some called for resistance, but most saw continued war as futile. As the Liberty escorted the surrendered fleet to human space, Jake finalized his report to Earth Command. Its core message was both simple and transformative. Humanity was no longer alone and had announced itself with undeniable strength, now accompanied by 200 alien vessels bearing diplomats rather than warriors. The Liberty resumed its mission. The galaxy would never be the same. The ship that had won the 4-minute war now led a convoy toward negotiations destined to reshape the galaxy's power dynamics. Standing on the bridge, Captain Jake Morrison gazed at the stars, which no longer seemed so vast or unapproachable. Humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage with a force that shattered millennia-old certainties. Civilizations that had dominated the galaxy for thousands of years now faced an undeniable truth. The balance of power had shifted. The age of human expansion had begun. Marked by a victory so decisive, it would forever be remembered as the moment the galaxy changed hands in just 4 minutes.